right, we are going to look at graphing when it is in this form. This form is known as your vertex form. If your quadratic equation is in this form, it is very easy to pick out the pieces we need, okay? So from this, we can find that the A is the one that makes it either narrow, right? If that was bigger than 1, it would make it wide if it was less than 1. Remember, that's when it's the fractions. And it would flip it or reflect it if it was a negative number. Okay. Now, from working with our absolute values previously, we know the K is going to move your parabola up and down. Okay? If it is in this form, you can pick it out and you can move it that way. The H, now remember, it always has to have the minus there. When it is your H, it is going to move it to the left or to the right. We have to be careful here. If it is a minus H, it is going to move it to the positive side. Where if this is a plus H, it's actually going to move it to the negative side. Okay, because there's already a minus there. Alrighty, now as we previously used in other topics that we have studied this year, we know that our vertex is going to be our HK. So our vertex is going to be at H, comma, K. Right? Which means my axis of symmetry is here. Right? So my axis of symmetry, my x equals. And this one, depending which way it's turned, will either be my minimum or my maximum. Okay, so vertex form really gives us quite a lot of information. All right, so let's take a look at what these would look like if we graph them. Okay, we're going to start with our x squared. So we know 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, oops, I must have gone up too far. There we go. This is our normal x squared parabola. Okay, so if our normal x squared parabola is x squared, right, that means it has 1 for the A, the B value isn't there, right, and the C value isn't there. Okay, which also means if we were to look at it in vertex form, the A is 1. We have x minus our h, but it's not moving anywhere, so our h would be 0. And our k would also be 0. So you can see that it would still give us the x squared, it just would look a little bit different if we put it in vertex form. Okay, so let's try a new one and see what happens. Let's see if I can find one that's a little bit smaller. Okay, here we go. Let's try when we'll do g of x equals x minus 6 squared. Okay, well, is there an a value? No, the a value is just a 1, right? Is there a k value? No, the k value is 0. So we're not going to be moving up or down. We're not going to be flipping it or making it wider or narrow. Instead, we are going to move it 6. Now remember, the minus always has to be there. So this tells me my h equals 6. So I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the positive side. Everything else is going to remain the same, which means I can sketch my graph right away because the only thing it did was it moved over. It moved over 6, okay? If you weren't sure, you could plug in numbers. So let's plug in some x's and y's. Okay, let's start with that 6. Okay, so 6 minus 6 is 0. 0 squared is 0, which is right there. Okay, let's try, we'll go back this way. Let's do 5. Okay, so 5 minus 6 is -1, and -1 squared is 1, and that's right there. So when we have something like this, my vertex is here at 6, 0, because it didn't move up and down. My axis of symmetry is through this x value of my vertex, 6. Okay, this is a minimum due to the way it's shaped, and the minimum happens at 0 when my y value is 0. Okay. All right, and let's look at one more. Let's keep it on here. And we will look at, let me find another good one that'll fit on my graph easily. We'll try this one. I think this will fit okay. So we're going to do h of x equals 3 times the quantity x plus 1 squared plus 1. Okay, let's see here. This is our a value, right? That a, from what we looked at previously, we know is going to make it more narrow. Okay. This is our k value. Okay, so our k is 1, and we know that's going to move it up 1. Okay. This is our h value. Remember, it's h minus, so this is really a -1. So it's going to move it to the left 1. Okay, so we're going to go from our normal origin, the 0, 0. We're going to the left 1, and we're going to go up 1. So this is going to be our new vertex. We can see the ordered pair is -1, 1. That means the axis of symmetry is through this x point of -1. Okay. Now, let's try some numbers so that we can see. Let's set up our table, x and y. Let's try when x is 0. Okay, so 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1, and that gives us 4. So when x is 0, we're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That is skinnier, isn't it? Now we know, due to our axis of symmetry, it's going to also mirror on the other side. Okay? It still has a minimum. The minimum, okay, is now at 1. Our axis of symmetry is the -1. Okay, that's where it folds in half. And it is much skinnier than the original x squared. Alrighty, so vertex form is really very helpful because all the information is right there in the actual formula. Okay, so these things are really important because they'll help you graph it without even making a table and trying numbers.